Party with Joe and I. Please, someone. Red's in the house. Shh, don't tell anyone, but we have way too much fun here. One team is the way we roll. Sportsnight is next.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sports Night. I'm Joe Young.
And I'm Howie Shapiro, and we're just about to the end of the season. We've got a little bit left and a short show tonight.
We do. All of the regular season action is now complete. A couple of playoffs getting underway this week, a couple of playoffs ending.
Yep.
And then, a couple of sports that push things out a little bit. They got a little time before
they do.
Fully wrapping things up. But we have a short show. We're going to get through it fast for you. Starting with the football team. They wrapped up the regular season traveling to face the top-ranked team in the state, Totino Grace. The Eagles started the season by slipping past perennial power Eden Prairie 17-14, and they've pretty much dominated every game since. The winless Cardinals went into the game just hoping to stay in the game and find some positives to take away from it. It didn't take long for Totino Grace to show why they're so highly regarded. They don't pass much, but when they do, they're efficient. Kyle Halverson connecting with Brady Bertram for a 25-yard gain deep into Cardinals territory. That led to the opening score. Sam Hansen able to break the plane from the 1 before being pushed back. Eagles have a 7-0 lead. Cardinals' next possession, Cam Geyer can't handle George's pass. Ryan Suggs there for the interception. Totino ball at the 18-yard line. Totino's offense takes advantage quickly a few plays later. Rocky Cruiser under center flips it to Bertram for a 3-yard score, a quick 14-point advantage. Cardinals held 3 and out on the next possession. Slow snap on the punt. Suggs is able to get in for the block. Charlie Waters is able to scoop it up and return it to the Coon Rapids 15-yard line. 2 plays later, it's Halverson on play action. He finds Cruiser in the back of the end zone, the 6'9" tight end with a throwing and receiving score in just over a minute. 3 touchdowns in 3:31 as Totino in complete control. They had one more before the end of the half. Gave Flomo a 21-yard run off the left edge. Eagles with a 27-0 lead after the first quarter. Flomo had the only score of the second quarter. Eagles go to the counter play from the 6. Flomo able to dive for the end zone. Totino goes into the break up big. Cardinals down 41-0 before they finally light up the scoreboard. Tyler George to Cam Geyer on a receiver screen late in the third. He finds a lane up the middle to score from the 18. Coon Rapids strikes again in the fourth quarter. George going over the top to Jordan Brown, who quietly, Howie, had a great game. 8 catches, 95 yards in the score. But the Cardinals lose this one 41-13.
He's had a nice season, Jordan, in reference to Jordan Brown. And Carter Geyer as well. A couple of receivers for the Coon Rapids Cardinals that have had a nice season. You have to be impressed with the Eagles in all facets of the game. You saw the special teams block. You saw the defense play really well. Offensively, their line up front is so big, and they dominated at the point of attack pretty much all game long, as long as those first-team linemen were in. And it really put the Cardinals off their defense and what they wanted to do. They opened holes that were huge.
Yeah, and just those quick bounces, the interception and the block punt, 3 touchdowns in 3 minutes and 31 seconds, and you had to be impressed.
No doubt.
Absolutely, as you mentioned, and we'll get a chance to see him again because that is the Cardinals' first-round opponent for the section tournament. Now, let me explain. You have 4 sections in the state Class 6A. Each of those teams has 8. Each of those sections, 8 teams.
Correct.
Those teams are all ranked in their sections. Those sections are then all cross-matched so that no 2 teams will meet from the same section in the first round, and no first and second seeds from a single bracket or a single section can meet until the section final. They have 6 different brackets that work out this way as far as what the crossover will be. They randomly select that, and this is what comes out. So you have Totino Grace, the number 1 seed in Section 4, hosting Coon Rapids, the number 8 from Section 5. Hopkins, the number 4 seed, gets Farmington. Mounds View, a number 3 seed, gets Osseo, the number 6 seed from our section. Shakopee, the number 7 seed, will travel to take on number 2, Lakeville North. Blaine, a number 1 seed in our section, will get Buffalo week 1, Woodbury and Prior Lake, Burnsville and Stillwater, and then Forest Lake gets Minnetonka as the 2 and 7 seeds. Eden Prairie, no surprise, a number 1 seed, will host Egan first round. Cretin-Durham Hall and Anoka meet in a first round quarterfinal, sort of, Edina and Eastville, Roseville gets Maple Grove gets Roseville, I guess. And in the lower right-hand bracket, it's kind of crazy. Rosemont, the number 1 seed. White Bear Lake, the number 8. Centennial gets Wayzata. Champlain Park, a home game with the 3 seed, gets Robbinsdale Armstrong, and Eastridge will host Lakeville South.
That'll be an interesting game, that Centennial Wayzata contest. I think that should, the 4 and 5 seed in that bracket will be interesting. And if you understood what Joe was doing when he was describing the brackets, there's an online test you can take to further your knowledge. So
it's really quite an ingenious.
It is, no question.
An ingenious setup. But the Cardinals, a familiar foe. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But one they've seen very recently. They may know. You know, if those bounces don't go their way and they're in the game for a little while longer, who knows what happens? Any given Friday.
I spoke to Coach Ferguson, the Totino Grace coach, before the game, and I asked him, do you guys have an idea who you're going to play? And he said he wasn't sure. He says, but we could play this team again in Coon Rapids. He said, but I hope that doesn't happen. So it's an interesting statement from a coach that pretty much had their way with the Cardinals.
Well, they did have a whole lot of penalties. But we can keep going. We got some more show to get to in a short time to do.
Absolutely. The volleyball team wrapped up the regular season schedule, facing another team near the bottom of the Northwest Suburban standings on Tuesday. However, it was a team that had Coon Rapids' number this year. The Park Center Pirates are the only team the Cardinals have played 3 times this season, and all 3 meetings have been sweeps for the Pirates. Coon Rapids looking for the good start in their final time on the home floor. Good turn off this Pirate serve. They set up Ellie Hinsey in the middle for the kill. Cardinals able to keep things close in the first set, but the Pirates pull away at the end. Nice setup for Kaylee Cox, attacking from the left side. She finds the back corner. Park Center wins set 1, 25-17. Coon Rapids struggling in the second. This possession just needs to be passed across. The defense step up on this point. Kayla Bussey getting the position for the block. But Park Center rattles off a couple of long streaks in the second, able to take control. Good kill in the middle from Michaela Hayes helps the Pirates for a 25-11 win. Move to the third. It's the Pirates scrambling on defense on this point. Coon Rapids able to take advantage. Great placement on the shot back by Bussey, right to the back line for the point. The third set, that's the Cardinals' best, but still not quite enough. He's attacking in the middle again for the point. Pirates are going to win in 3 by a score of 25-21 in the final, and the Cardinals will end their regular season that way.
Yeah, and they get into the playoffs right away on Tuesday. Yep. A 12-team section in 5 AAA for volleyball. The Cardinals, the 12th seed, will have to travel to St. Michael Albertville. The winner gets Blaine, who awaits in the quarterfinal round on Thursday. Champlain Park, the number 1 seed, will host the winner of Buffalo and Orono. Wayzata, the 2 seed, has the winner of Maple Grove and Rogers. And 3-seeded Osseo also waiting in the quarterfinal for the battle between Delano and Park Center. Swimming and diving team had their Northwest Suburban Conference championship in a 13-team conference. It used to be they had a legitimate conference tournament, but 13 teams can't do it that way. So they pair up. Top 2, second 2, next 2. Cardinals in the bottom group. They finish in 13th place in the conference with an 89-point score, but that's not the important part. The important part is all the things that went very well for the Cardinals. Tamala King, winner in the 500 and 200 free. Megan Schultze winning the 100 fly and the 100 breast. And no surprise that Mog Galadriel O'Grady won the diving with a 234.90. Sections aren't for a couple of weeks for swimming and diving.
No time off
so
for
they
them.
have some time to prepare for that. There may be that is for starts on Monday the 10th and goes through the 12th. The following week is state, and there are a couple of girls that have a legitimate shot at going.
Absolutely.
Cross your fingers.
Yep.
Cross-country team was off this week, but they have sections at Anoka on Thursday. State championships are on Saturday the 5th, and that will be at St. Olaf. Girls soccer team went into Tuesday's section semifinal knowing that they would need everything to go their way in order to upset the top-seeded Cougars. Easy for me
Easy for you to say. Spit that out.
Centennial undefeated this season at 12-0-3, and many of their wins, including their 6-0 win over Coon Rapids just 2 weeks earlier, have been one-sided. Cardinals went in hoping their strong defense could slow the Cougars' high-powered offense and give them a chance to reach Thursday's final round. Cougars brought a lot of pressure in this one, but it's their set plays that set them apart. First corner kick of the game, perfectly lofted out front. Megan Schock in position to put the header past Frazier, get the scoring started for Centennial. Those two do it again late in the first. Gunderson the corner, Schock the header, Frazier a diving attempt, comes up short, and Centennial goes up 2. Cardinals looking to answer a corner kick of their own. Ackerman's header stopped by a diving keeper. She has to push it against the post to save it. Getchell right there trying to poke it home, but it stays 2-0 at the half. Centennial adds to the lead early in the second half. Leading scorer Ashley Ebeling left a little bit too much space. She capitalizes, slips it past Langenfeld to give the Cougars a 3-goal cushion. Another corner kick pays off for Centennial 5 minutes later. This one bounces around a little bit, but eventually gets to Amanda Ailes, and she pokes it home. Centennial firing on all cylinders. Cardinals down, but not giving up. Alyssa Brazier able to pressure, force a turnover, gets in close, beats the keeper. It's off the post, a second chance. Defenders there. And then the Cougars able to clear it away. Centennial adds one more late in the game. Lexi Larson in the middle. Spins, scores. Cougars 5-0 win. Ends the Cardinals season in the section semifinal.
Yeah, you know, the last game they played was a 6-0 loss, as you mentioned in that read, and weather conditions totally different than it was the other night, a 6-0 loss. I really thought Centennial played such a nice soccer game, and they controlled it. And you can see why they have the record that they do. And you know, the Cardinals had that one. Brazier had that opportunity, and that's probably their best, other than the trap against the goalpost earlier in that game. But it was a tough one for the Cardinals, and they were having issues scoring throughout the season, and they just couldn't get anything going that night. Yeah,
and Centennial did get past Maple Grove in the championship. Look at what these two teams did going through the tournament. Centennial a 6-0 win over Irondale, and then a 5-0 win over Coon Rapids, so 11-0 going into the final. Maple Grove 6-0 and 6-1, so 12-1 going into the final, and they go 2-2 into overtime. Centennial gets the win in OT. They will represent Section 5AA in the state tournament.
Yeah, that was a nice win for them. Obviously, Maple Grove gave them a heck of a game, you know, being the number 2 seed, but they were able to get past them.
It's all playoffs from here, Shapiro. We got that means tape delays, folks. Volleyball playoffs, number 12, Coon Rapids at St. Michael Albertville should be good to go by midnight on Tuesday night. Should they advance to the Thursday round at Blaine, we would be there as well. And then we will have football playoffs. The number 8 seeded Coon Rapids Cardinals facing the number 1 team in the state of Minnesota, Totino Grace. That will be also tape delayed here at midnight. That's going to do it for this edition of CTN Sportsnight. I want to thank everybody out there for joining us and continuing to support everything we do here at CTN. For the entire crew, including Howie Shapiro, I'm Joe Young, saying good night.